Faculty of Lady Shri College, distinguished guests, researchers, students. Hello, LSR. I'm delighted to be speaking to you all, the brilliant economists, the students who will make a mark and change the world. In a post-pandemic world, I would be keen to visit your campus and meet you all in person, because I love your inspiring mission statement, which states, empower women to assume leadership roles in a globalized, rapidly changing, technology-based nation and world. Wow. I've recently joined UNFPA India as the representative, and I already know about your reputation. Today, I want to speak to you about India's demographic dividend and you, the young people, the opportunities it presents, and the challenges. It's only my second month in India as the UNFPA representative, but I already feel the dynamism of this great country. A young country with a median age of 29 years. Most of you are even younger. A country teeming with 365 million young people between the ages of 10 and 24. A country with 1 billion opportunities. A country on the cusp of a great demographic transition. As the mother of 2 young daughters who are making their way to higher education, as well as joining the workforce, just like you, this isn't just about policy, it's personal. But it's about you, it's about us, the common challenges of all young people. And as a mother, I'm excited for what this new phase brings, just as your parents must be for you. The UN has given the clarion call for a decade of action for sustainable development, and India is at the center of it. What this means is that as the youth of this country, you are in the driver's seat, and all of you have the biggest role to play in transforming this country's future, in reaping the demographic dividend. India has witnessed remarkable changes in fertility and mortality. It's passed through what we term as a classical demographic transition from high birth and death rates to low birth and death rates. And it's now currently in a stage where fertility has achieved replacement level of 2.0 children per woman. The life expectancy at birth has increased from 49.7 years 40 years ago to 69.4 years as of now. So this is the stage when population growth begins to decline. So what happens in this scenario? Well, the most visible impact is that with fertility decline, the age structure of the population will also substantially decline in the coming future. Simply stated, the share of those working age people between 15 and 64 who are the most productive will rise substantially, and that will yield an opportunity known as the demographic dividend. What are the prospects of a demographic dividend in India? And what are the challenges and the way forward to harness it? Let me outline some of the challenges and opportunities for you. First, if we talk about challenges, the demographic dividend is always time-bound. One of the fastest growing economies in the world, India has a time-bound opportunity to benefit from this demographic dividend. The results of the population projections of India indicate that the share of children below 15 years will fall from 30 to 15% in 2061, and that of the elderly, meaning people 65 and above, will triple from 5 to 19% over the same period. During the process, the share of middle-aged people or working-age people will rise for some time, reaching a peak of nearly 70% around 2041, yielding the demographic dividend. But after that, the share of older ages will rise substantially and the dividend will begin to decline. Another challenge is what we would say is the unequal half. Women are missing. Not enough women are benefiting from the dividend. India needs to increase its female workforce participation in the economy. As of 2019, 20% of women were working or looking for jobs, down from 34% just 20 years ago. New skills and opportunities for women and girls befitting of their participation in a $3 trillion economy is urgently needed. For example, a girl who passes class 10 needs more choices to learn skills that will help her find appropriate work. She also needs safe transport to travel to her workplace. So, for example, take the case of South Korea. Its female workforce participation rate is 50% and is built on legal compulsory gender budgeting to analyze gender disaggregated data and its impact on policies. It's built on increasing childcare benefits and boosting tax incentives for part-time work. It's predicted if all women engaged in domestic duties in India who are willing to work had a job, female labor force participation would increase by about 20%. So India is missing out on the opportunity to fully tap the potential of women to drive the country's economic growth, as only 20% of women participate in economic activities. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Girls and women are also major contributors to the socio-ecological backbone of the nation. When governments invest in women and girls, the results are there for everyone to see. Another challenge has to do with negative social norms. According to the two most recent National Family Health Surveys, regressive social norms weaken the building blocks of women's empowerment. For example, between 2016 and 2020, child marriage has only gone down to 23% from 26%. The burden on women for sterilization is still unacceptably high at 38%, which is 67% of all modern contraceptive methods. Little progress on the proportion of women who face violence from spouses is seen, only down to 29% from 31%. That's still basically 1 in 3 women. And the proportion of women who worked and were paid in cash has increased by less than 1 percentage point to 25%. But let me now turn to the opportunities. India has a long window for reaping the demographic dividend. The dividend is not very high at any time due to a less steep decline in fertilities than other countries might have experienced. But it's available for an extended period compared to many other countries, and this is due to state-wise disparities in when they entered their demographic transition. Another opportunity is linked to unleashing women's empowerment. India, in this regard, is steadfastly moving forward in the right direction. This is backed up by the recent findings of the National Family Health Survey. And I must emphasize that budding economists such as yourselves must deep dive and build on it. Let me give you some of the highlights. The proportion of women who have their own bank accounts has gone up by 25 points to reach 78%. About 54% of women have their own mobile phones, but only about 1 in 3 have used the internet. If we add to this, the proportion of women with more than 10 years of schooling has gone up by over 5 percentage points to 41%. The proportion of women 15 to 24 years of age who use hygiene products during menstruation has jumped to 77% from 57%. And women with 10 years of schooling or more bring significant positive impacts on their children, ranging from fertility to gender norms. Another opportunity is linked to education. This is an enabler to bridge gender gaps to help reap a demographic dividend. For sure, gender equalities within education are a major concern. In India, boys are more likely to be enrolled in secondary and tertiary school than girls. In the Philippines, China, and Thailand, it's the reverse. And in Japan, South Korea, and Indonesia, the gender differences are rather minimal. So this really needs to be reset in India on an urgent basis. Friends, in conclusion, let me say this. For positive and lasting change to occur, the power and agency of girls and women can no longer be sidelined and ignored. Their identity, autonomy, capabilities, and aspirations have to be absolutely recognized, leveraged, and honed. I hope my address inspires you to do more, ask more, learn more. You, my young friends, are the shareholders of this demographic dividend for India, and you are the drivers during this limited window of opportunity. I'm confident that each one of you will advance forward and position India's young population and their issues as the top priority towards harnessing the demographic dividend in the future. Thank you, LSR, for inviting me today. Dhanyavad and namaste.